Welcome back to Journey to FI. Today we'll be discussing our financial basics and kind of how we go about it.
So how do you define financial independence?
So for me, financial independence is pretty much just having the freedom to do what you like in life, not necessarily have to rely on a job. Pretty much achieve that point where you're no longer tied down to a job, 9 to 5 or whatever. What about for you? What would you describe as financial independence?
So basically, I don't want to be working for my whole life. And what I didn't realize is that's exactly the path that I was going down. Before I found this concept of financial independence, didn't have any savings. I had debt, actually. I was gonna have to work for the rest of my life.
I think definitely taking ownership of your time and your freedom is the biggest drive that we have here because we don't want to retire when we're 65, 67, and health issues start popping up. And definitely getting the opportunity to hopefully retire sooner than that, add a couple more years to enjoy, travel, see the world a little bit. I don't have kids yet, but hopefully down the future, have time for them and stuff like that. I'm Mexican, so we enjoy our carne asadas and all that stuff. So just getting to enjoy life.
Yeah, I think what's the point if all you do is get up, get ready for work, sit in traffic for an hour, and then you spend your day at the office or whatever job you do for 8 hours plus, then get back in the car, and by the time you get home, it's already nighttime. And actually, a lot of my days look like that right now, and it sucks.
Retirement doesn't have to be this luxurious life. Be just a simple, humble life that doesn't require, an extreme amount of money. And one of the stories that really resonates with me is the fisherman story. There's a businessman that goes to Mexico and he noticed there's a fisherman every single morning and he's pretty much seeing him catch these fish. So he approaches him, be like, hey, you're obviously a good fisherman. What do you do with this? And he's like, well, I catch what I need. I go with my family. I enjoy the time. We eat our fish. And he's like, well, if you're such a good fisherman, why don't you catch more fish, sell them at the market? And then once you made more money, then you buy a boat and catch even more fish. And he's trying to escalate that more and more. You buy more boats, you hire more people, you create, a company, you go put it on the market. And as he's explaining this, the fisherman is like, well, how long would all that take? It's like roughly like 30 years. And it's like, okay, and after 30 years, what do I do? And the businessman, well, after 30 years, then you can come down, fish, catch enough for the family, and go enjoy the rest of the day with the family. So the fisherman is like, oh, so all of that 30 years of hard work just for me to end up back to what I'm currently doing now. Again, you don't need an extravagant amount of money to live the simple life that you want. This fisherman was already living that life.
Yeah, I actually did. I have heard that story before now that you mention it. I heard it a little bit differently, but the same idea. The fisherman has that life already. He doesn't need to do all that extra stuff, just so he can achieve that life in the future. But also, you have to start from somewhere. Part of financial independence is having some resources to be able to do what you want. Like a homeless guy, I pass by them every day when I'm on my way home under the bridge over here. And some people might look at that and be like, wow, look how much freedom they have. They just get to sit there all day and do nothing, but they don't have the ability to travel. Their meals depend on other people giving them money. That's not what we're talking about here. That's not financial independence. They're actually dependent on other people.
Everybody's financial independence is different. Yours is going to be different than what mine is, and so on and so forth. So, but it's pretty much achieving what you require.
Yeah, I think we became friends because we both had that interest in bettering ourselves financially, even though just like you mentioned, like our versions of financial independence aren't exactly the same and we're going about different paths, but we had that common interest in wanting to have that freedom.
Like you mentioned, we became friends because of our interest in investing. For me, investing is very important just simply because that's what's going to help me achieve my goals in life. And for me, investing started back in 2021. I was able to surround myself with like-minded people such as yourself, uh, to start helping me kind of open my eyes, right? Because before 2021, I feel like I had people that were just holding me back. So I had to reassess my situation. And after that, I started learning about investing and the stock market. Investing right now has really changed my life just simply because I can now see the light at the end of the tunnel. And so now I have a passion, I have a goal, and I'm just excited to wake up every morning, and because I know it's a step forward. Every time you invest, it's a day closer to retirement.
I think for financial independence, investing is critical. You're not going to get there by just putting money under the mattress because of that thing called inflation that's just going to eat away at any savings that you do with that. You have to outpace inflation. But not only that, investing is a way to help you grow your money so that you don't have to continue working. You can make money while you sleep, because the companies that you invest in are doing the heavy lifting for you. Now it's so much easier. There's so many apps out there. You use Robinhood. I've used them all pretty much. And, you can get started with as little as like 20 bucks.
Yeah, I think that's a big take right there, that you don't necessarily have to start out with a big chunk of money as long as you're able to throw in, 20, 30, 40 bucks, whatever you can, and then just slowly grow it from there. The compound effect is just a wonderful thing. So, you may start with a little bit, but give it some time and it'll start rolling. So, but the most important thing is to just get started, because nothing's going to happen if you don't take that first step. So,
Yeah, I think my biggest mistake is thinking that I didn't have enough money to do it, just putting it off for the future. That was a problem for future James, is pretty much my mentality back then. And so now here's the future, and I was behind because of that mindset. I've been investing now since 2018. I mean, just it started off small, just whatever I could put in there, and over time, it's definitely grown. And even to a point now where, we're talking about financial independence. And even though we're not there yet, but there's benefits along the way. So me and the girlfriend are discussing, maybe even taking time off of work right now because we built up so much money that, we have the freedom to do that. So that's something that we're discussing. And, if we'd never invested or saved, that wouldn't even be an option.
yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So good for y'all that y'all are at that step where y'all have that privilege to, maybe take a year off or two and, travel, see the world. For me and the wife, we're still got a little bit more to go before we can do something like that. But you do have maybe a year or two ahead of me. So definitely a motivation for me to catch up and all that. I think that's another healthy thing to have is competition. Somebody who drives you and pushes you to, try to catch up to them or try to beat them or one up them and stuff like that. Um, Not saying that, I would want something bad to happen to you or anything like that, but just a healthy competition. Let's call it that, healthy competition.
I see you coming up behind me, and it pushes me even harder to try to try to keep up my lead. You have that youth on your side, so if one of these days I have a feeling the investing that you're doing is eventually going to overtake me, but I'm going to try my hardest to stay ahead.
We appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. Comment down below what got you into investing and what motivates you to keep investing. We appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all next time. Peace. None of this is financial advice. This is all for entertainment purposes only. So please do your own research.